Hello and welcome to Reportage. This is Daanish. In today's segment of Reportage, I have with me Mr. Ashutosh to talk about his new book, Reclaiming Bharat, which talks in detail about 2024 elections. Not only the elections, actually it makes you understand about the RSS and BJP juggernaut, their politics, and how India bloc was able to break this juggernaut in 2024. Let's listen into Mr. Ashutosh.
Mr. Ashutosh, in the starting portions of the book, you mentioned that 2014 was not a simple transfer of power. And you have also quoted examples of 1947, when the transfer of power took place from British to India. What made you think so that this was not a simple transfer of power 2014?
Danis, before answering to that question, because I think you had hit the nail on the head, and that's the most important thing which I have referred and which I have tried to make my readers understand. How will you understand Hindutva? How will you understand the government which is being run since 2014 till now, and the events and incidents which are happening, unless you really understand the nature of the government? So before answering your questions, I have my 5 postulates, and which is my central theme, which I have been working on for a very long time, and that's how I conceptualized. And if you see my book, the earlier book, Hindu Rashtra, and this book, Reclaiming Bharat, both are an attempt, an academic attempt, a journalistic exercise from my side to understand India since 2014. So my first postulate is there is a march of an ideological state in the country. That's a point number 1. Second is the transfer of power from Manmohan Singh to Modi is not a simple transfer of power, but it is akin to the transfer of power from Britishers to India on 15th August 1947. Point 3, the postulate 3. Nature of state has changed since 2014. Then fourth one is what we are witnessing today is basically an RSS revolution. You can call it a right-wing revolution too. The last one is that this state is continuously at war. This is not a peacetime government. This government is continuously in a state of war. Now, if we understand all these 5 postulates, then it will be easier for my readers to understand what I said in the book, what I wrote in the book. Because my book is not simply a chronicling of events, but you can always say it's basically a sequel of my earlier book, Hindu Rashtra, which tried to make our readers understand what was the nature of government since 2014 to 2019. And within that context, I tried to make my readers understand that what was at stake in 2024 parliamentary elections and the events which has happened, how we'll describe them and how we should understand them.
You have also mentioned it as a revolution, and you write that my leftist friends would lynch me to say it. But why do you call it a revolution?
I have explained in my book. See, if you see there are any revolution across the world in history, if you look at, there are 3 distinct features. One distinct feature is disconnectedness from the past. Secondly, it leads to disruption. Thirdly, deconstruction. If you look at the BJP government since 2014 onwards, it's not that they had done something new. Since the inception of RSS in 1925 onwards, these features of the RSS and Hindutva had been in a state of criticism. But 2014 onwards, when they formed the government, there is a very clear understanding on behalf of the government Bharatiya Janata Party and RSS to disconnect from the past, the immediate past. And it is in this context I had said that the transfer of power between Manmohan Singh to the Narendra Modi is not an ordinary transfer of power. Because since till 2014, till Modi became the chief minister, almost every government, there was a consensus, which you can call it a Nehruvian consensus. There was a consensus of secularism, there is a consensus of federalism, there is a consensus of socialistic pattern of societies, and
These were the unwritten rules.
These were unwritten rules. These are unwritten rules. So when government changed from Nehru to Indira Gandhi, it was in continuation. The first serious government change was in 1977, when the Congress was defeated and Morarji Desai became the prime minister. That was called the Janata Party government. But if you look at the nature of the government, there's hardly any difference between the Morarji Desai government and Indira Gandhi's government. Again in 1989, when VP Singh became the prime minister, there was hardly any difference. There was a general overall consensus on certain issues. That line should not be crossed or transgressed. 1996 again, UF government is formed. In 1988, Atal Bihari Vajpayee government formed. Though this was a government which was led by a Swayam Sevak, an RSS worker, RSS volunteer. But this government did not do anything which was drastic. And one can understand, because Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Lal Krishna Advani both had lived into the Nehruvian era, and they basically believed into the constitutional ethos and the parliamentary democracy. And they were not in a position to unleash their revolution. You can understand Manmohan Singh, but once the Narendra Modi became the prime minister, or once he got the mandate, like 272, 282 seats, so he has the majority. Once he had the majority, then it was easier for the BJP government and Narendra Modi government to unleash their ideology. And what I believe it, the consistent attack on Nehru, the denigration of Nehru, the humiliation of Nehru, the intimidation of Nehru, and anybody who tried to align himself with the Nehruvian ideology was abused. All kinds of things were said. So this was an attempt to disconnect this government from the past. And in 2014 onwards, if you look at the kind of disruption which the society has seen and the politics has seen, you all don't need to explain that. Now we have to understand why this ideology disconnected itself from the past. It unleashed disruption. It's only because they wanted to take the country into a future. They were chasing a utopia, which is called Hindu Rashtra. So they were trying to deconstruct a Hindu Rashtra and utopia. Within that context, I'm saying it's like communist governments. Communist government in 1917 in Russia. They totally disconnected themselves from the Tsar-Shahi. It was a total disruption in terms of government formation, in terms of politics, in terms of societies, in terms of values. And they were trying to deconstruct what? A classless society. Similar thing is here. That's why I said it is a kind of revolution. Till now, why I said that my left liberal friends will lynch me, because revolution has till now been understood in Indian context a left liberal revolution. They think that revolution is something which is progressive. So my understanding is that right-wing revolution is also a revolution, and RSS is a right-wing revolution.
But you also give some hope to the people when you write about the results of 2024 elections, and you write that people proved it, that my way or the highway is not right. And how, basically, for the readers, tell me this, how 24 elections were different from 2019, 14 and 2019 elections?
See, one simple distinction can be made in 2014, in 2019, Bharatiya Janata Party has a majority in the Lok Sabha. In 2014, they got 282 seats. In 2019, they got 302 seats, 303 seats. Now, in 2024, BJP could not get the majority numbers. They were stuck to 240 seats. So that's the one major difference. But if you look at the campaign during the elections and a few months before elections, like there was a, like through Ram Mandir inauguration consecration, the attempt was made to create a Hindu narrative that this is the government, this is the leader, which has achieved a long cherished dream of Hindus to get a get a Ram Mandir. And that's why you see the picture when Narendra Modi enters into the temple all alone and the whole camera is focused on him. And it was such a gala event. And at that point of time, everybody thought that BJP is going to sweep elections and they are going to get more than 300 seats. But as election got closer, it was quite visible that there was that the people had a problem with the government. There was anti-incumbency. And once Mr. Narendra Modi realized this as a prime minister and as a leader of the BJP, that there are certain issues and people are not very happy, then he unleashed one of the most communal campaign ever done by any prime minister in this country. We all can agree and disagree with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. We all can agree and disagree with other leaders. But no leader had communalized the campaign so badly as Mr. Prime Minister. I'm sorry to say this, but that's a reality. He openly said that the Muslims are infiltrators. वो आपके मंगलसूत्र को ले जाएंगे, आपकी गाय भैंस को उठा ले जाएंगे. So, and then he called Congress manifesto as a Muslim League's manifesto of 1935. A prime minister was campaigning for his own party and who was thought to be invincible, who always believed that there is no leader to match his stature. Didn't need to go back in past. He should have asked votes that in the last 10 years, I have done so much for the country. I have done so much development in the country. Vote for me. No, he wasn't doing that. He was trying to the voter that the Congress is basically a party which only talks of the interest of Muslims. And this was the party, because why he was referring to the Muslim League? He wanted the voters to remind them about the partitions. He wanted to remind voters that look what the Muslims did to the country. And then he added on by calling them infiltrators, कि आपके मंगलसूत्र को छीन लेंगे, आपकी भैंस को खोल लेंगे, all kinds of things. Even the top leaders of the BJP like Amit Shah and Yogi Adityanath, they said कि इस देश में शरिया कानून लागू हो जाएगा अगर इंडिया गठबंधन आएगा, या राम मंदिर को ये लोग demolish कर देंगे. I think that was the factor in this election.
Sir, if I recall correctly, you write about the Congress manifesto of 2024 that it was a visionary document. What made you think so?
I said revolutionary document, a radical document, because if you look at what is written over there, the Congress lost out since 1990 because Congress was never serious about the OBC politics. Congress was never serious about the reservation politics. Rather, it's better to say that the Congress did not know what to take a stand on the OBC politics when the Mandal Commission was implemented. And it is this reason that the Congress badly lost in UP and almost non-existent in Bihar. And since then, the Congress has not been in a position to form government on its own. Though they formed government twice. Narasimha Rao formed government, that was the Congress-led government, but it's a coalition government. In 2004, Manmohan Singh formed the government, again it's a coalition government. In 2009, Congress did exceedingly well, but it could only get a little more than 200 seats. So now the Congress party has realized that you have to look for a new social base if you really want to get more than 272 seats or you really want to form the government. The Congress was a formidable force since Nehru's time because they had a combination of coalitions between Dalits, Muslims, and upper caste, mostly Brahmins. Now, upper caste has gone lock, stock, and barrel with the BJP. Muslims are very, very unhappy with the Congress party, and the Dalits with Kashiram and others. Since Rahul Gandhi is Bharat Jodo.
आशुतोष जी, मैं कास्ट पॉलिटिक्स पे आ रहा हूँ, तो मैं आपसे ये सवाल जानना चाहता हूँ कि आप अपनी किताब में ये लिखते हैं कि नीतीश कुमार जब तक इंडिया ब्लॉक में रहे, ही वाज द फर्स्ट पर्सन जिन्होंने कास्ट सेंसस का बोला, एंड राहुल गांधी पिक्ड इट फ्रॉम नीतीश कुमार ओनली। ये मुझे समझाने की कोशिश कीजिए कि फिर आप इसको राहुल गांधी का मास्टर स्ट्रोक बोल रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये बीजेपी आरएसएस के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा पैराडॉक्स है। ना वो इसको सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं और ना ही वो इससे दूरी बना सकते हैं। तो ये जो पैराडॉक्स है ऑफ बीजेपी एंड आरएसएस, काइंडली शेड सम लाइट ऑन दिस।
Okay, let me complete what I was saying. In this manifesto, in the Congress manifesto, if you look at what the Congress is propounding, Congress is proposing that the 50% ceiling for the reservation should be removed. The Congress was saying that there should be reservation in the private sector also. And the Congress has consistently talking about the caste census, consistently talking. And I think the first time Rahul Gandhi said was in Kolar rally in Karnataka during the Karnataka Assembly elections. You are very right that Nitish Kumar who started this. And Nitish Kumar started this. Nitish Kumar did caste census in Bihar, came out with the report, then forgot about it. Rahul Gandhi found an opportunity into this caste census rhetorics. He realized that if the Congress could successfully convey to the OBCs, which are comprised of almost more than 50% voters, that the Congress is talking about their welfare, the Congress is talking about their interest, then there is a possibility that this OBC, a large section of the OBC can come back to the Congress. If that happens, then the Congress have every right to do very well electorally in UP and Bihar, and especially in the North India. So Nitish Kumar have almost forgotten about that. Congress has taken over that agenda, and Rahul Gandhi is talking about it consistently since then. And it is this which has created a problem for the BJP and the RSS, because BJP and the RSS realizes that the caste is something which divides society, which divides Hindus, and caste census something which has a potential to fragmentize Hindus, because then every caste, subcaste will be enumerated with the percentage and their social and economic status. But BJP also knows that the RSS also knows that if you oppose caste census, if you seem to be opposing caste census, then the OBCs can withdraw themselves from the BJP, because then the perception goes that the BJP is not fighting for their interest. That is why, if you remember, the RSS has said very smartly that caste census should be done, but for the welfare of the people, but not for the political reasons. Now, that's in my opinion, that's a major climb down, because an ideology which in its nature is opposed to the caste census, which knows that if Hindus are talked in terms of Dalit, in terms of OBCs, in terms of Yadav, Kurmi, Koiri, and others, then the whole unity project goes for a toss. But they are also facing the electoral compulsions, and since they are feeling electoral compulsions, so they have no other option than to not to be seen opposing this. And that's why BJP has very cleverly kept his mouth shut on the issue. Amit Shah has been saying that we are not opposed to the caste census, but they are not saying that they support caste census. They have not taken any initiative to go for the caste census. But Rahul Gandhi has found this as something which he realizes that if this is pursued, then this can change the future of the Congress party.
You also write in the book that it's easy for RSS and BJP to divide Muslim votes. But the problem with the RSS and BJP is that most of the Hindus are not willing to get together on their ideology. So how can BJP and RSS address this issue of not attracting all the Hindu votes?
See, because Hindu by nature is not one homogeneous entity. Like Muslim, you can say a homogeneous entity. Though they have also the caste divisions within them. But civilizationally, Hindus has been divided into the 4 castes. You know what I'm saying? And there is a very serious, acute divisions among them. Like even amongst the Brahmins, a kind of Brahmin, they don't marry in another kind of Brahmins. Forget about the Brahmins marrying with the Shudras or the OBCs. So the caste division is very acute. And it is because of this caste division that BJP realizes that to go for the Hindu unity, they need to create a enemy syndrome somewhere. And within that framework, that you create that हिंदू खतरे में है. और ये हिंदू किससे खतरे में? ये मुसलमानों से खतरे में है, इस्लाम से खतरे में है. अगर ये इस्लाम इसी तरीके से फैलता रहा तो एक दिन अपने ही देश में हिंदू जो है वो माइनॉरिटी हो जाएगा. So they want to make every Dalit, every OBC that they should feel like a Hindu. They should feel threatened like a Hindu. That we know there are differences. We know there are the divisions. We know there is a caste system. But first of all, we have to fight together vis-a-vis Islam and the Muslims as a Hindu. So that's why they are creating the meta narrative of Hindu khatre mein hai in the context of the Islam and Muslims.
Ashutosh,
and that's what they have been doing it.
Ashutosh, in the chapter 6 of the book, titled Roadblock for the RS Hindutva Juggernaut, you write about the Ayodhya elections. And it's a wonderfully researched chapter. क्या लगता है आपको, why did BJP lose in Ayodhya? जहां पे उनकी पूरी पॉलिटिक्स ही जिस पे खड़ी थी, जिस सीट पे, वही सीट हार गए. एंड अवधेश प्रसाद बस वो कैसे, व्हाट वाज हिज कैंपेन लाइक? थोड़ा सा इस पे बात करें कि व्हाई डिड दे लूज अयोध्या.
ये तो हमारे ख्याल से एक ऐसा सवाल है जिसको खुद भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने कभी नहीं सोचा होगा कि वो अयोध्या में हार सकते हैं. या एक और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चैप्टर है कि बनारस में प्रधानमंत्री जी जीते तो जरूर, लेकिन उनका वोट का मार्जिन इतना कम कैसे हो गया. और उसके लिए भी अमित शाह जी को वहां बैठना पड़ा. लास्ट डे पे अमित शाह जी को वहां बैठना पड़ा. तो जब देश का इतना पावरफुल
सर थोड़ा सा आई वुड लाइक टू इंट्रोड्यूस हियर, वो वाला चैप्टर जो है वो आपने राहुल गांधी के एक कोट से शुरू किया है, वाराणसी वाला जो हारे हुए हैं वो. बट राहुल गांधी हैड मेंशन इन वन ऑफ हिज स्पीचेस और प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस, आई डोंट रिमेंबर इट राइट नाउ, कि मैंने प्रियंका को बोला था कि आप वहां से इलेक्शन लड़े तो शायद नतीजा कुछ चेंज हो जाता. प्रियंका ने नहीं माना था इलेक्शन लड़ने. So please carry on with this for the readers.
हाँ, वो राहुल गांधी का ये स्टेटमेंट ये था कि अगर प्रियंका लड़ी होती तो शायद नतीजे कुछ और हो सकते थे. एंड दैट इज ट्रू ऑल्सो, ट्रू इन द सेंस बिकॉज प्रियंका एनी डे इज अ मच बेटर कैंडिडेट देन अजय राय. Ajay Rai was a complete non-entity in the context of Narendra Modi, but Priyanka Gandhi has a national stature vis-a-vis the Prime Minister. So if Priyanka Gandhi had contested the election, obviously there would have been some other. You never know in which direction the election would have gone. But what अयोध्या में क्या हुआ है? अयोध्या में एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात हुई है कि जहां पे आपने मंदिर बनाया, जहां पे आपने एक परसेप्शन क्रिएट करने की कोशिश की कि देखो हिंदुओं का एक बहुत बड़ा एजेंडा तो पूरा हो गया है, आप वहां क्यों हार गए? एंड अवधेश प्रसाद इज नॉट एन ऑर्डिनरी कैंडिडेट. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट हाउ मेनी टाइम्स ही वन असेंबली इलेक्शन एंड हाउ मेनी टाइम्स ही वाज द मिनिस्टर. बट अवधेश प्रसाद वाज वन कैंडिडेट हु वाज दलित, वाज अ पासी, एंड ही वाज कंटेस्टिंग फ्रॉम अ जनरल सीट. एंड वो उनका नारा क्या था? ना अयोध्या ना काशी,
अवधेश पासी.
आप सोचिए कि एक ऐसे समय में जबकि पूरा बीजेपी का पोलराइजेशन राम मंदिर को लेके हो रहा है, मथुरा और काशी को लेके हो रहा है, वहां पे एक आदमी ये नारा दे रहा है कि ना मथुरा ना काशी, इस बार अयोध्या पासी. इट्स अ वेरी प्रोवोकेटिव, रैडिकल एंड वेरी बोल्ड एंड करेजियस स्लोगन टू से समथिंग लाइक दिस. क्योंकि इस स्लोगन के बाद से यह भी पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकती थी कि पूरा हिंदू समाज जो है वो अवधेश पासी से नाराज हो जाए कि आप देखिए मथुरा और काशी का अपमान कर रहे हैं एक तरीके से. बट वैसा हुआ नहीं. तो जो मैं ये कहने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं कि जो अवधेश पासी एक दलित, एक पासी है वो, और वो चुनाव अयोध्या से लड़ रहे हैं और वो बीजेपी के कैंडिडेट को हरा देते हैं.
लेकिन आशुतोष जी, आपने किताब में यह भी जिक्र किया है कि जो पासी कम्युनिटी है यूपी में, उनका पॉपुलेशन खाली 2.8 और 2.6 लाख सी है. तो इतना बड़ा चेंज कैसे पॉसिबल हुआ बीजेपी के?
इन अयोध्या.
इन अयोध्या आई एम टॉकिंग.
See, we have to understand that if in any constituency, if such a large section of the population is with a particular candidate, then election becomes much more easier, because it's not that every Hindu is going to vote for the BJP. It's like, or every Muslim is going to vote for the India Gathbandhan. It's a competitive politics. It's a representative democracy. So a section of the population votes for one candidate, a section of the population votes for another candidate, and whosoever candidate has a substantial captive vote with himself or herself, it becomes easy for him to win. So Avdesh Pasi in the constituency was starting with 2.5 lakh votes, with the BJP was starting from much below base vote. And then the people of Ayodhya were very angry because the whole world was coming, but the voters in Ayodhya realized that they were the one who was suffering. So other factor also got into that. And it is because of that other factor, and then the Dalit assertion, because of the Lalan Singh talking about constitution changing, something like that. If BJP gets 400 seats, then they will change the constitution. So a Dalit was already very upset, because for Dalit, constitution and Baba Saheb Ambedkar is a matter of their own existence, their own identity. So they were also feeling threatened. So what I'm saying is that yes, in Ayodhya, it's a very significant victory. It is a symbolic meaning, and it is also a matter of success of the same constitution campaign. It's also a matter of Dalit assertion in UP politics, and in a way, it draws underlines the limits of the Hindutva politics. That not every Hindu is going to vote for the BJP just because you have made the Ram Mandir over there. There are other factors which also contribute into during the elections. The unemployment factor, the Mahangai factor, the whole Ayodhya turned into an army camp, the police camp. With every movement of the VIP, there's a curfew-like situations. So people were unhappy, and people did realize that Ram Mandir is not everything for me. The other things also matter. And even if we made Ram Mandir, that doesn't mean I should be eternally grateful to you. Whatever you did good for you. But what next? On that basis, can you make us captive? Can you unleash any kind of suppression on us? So all those factors also included. But this is a very significant and important, because where the Ram Mandir was constructed a few months back, where Ram Mandir inauguration happened, if BJP is losing there, then that means they need to do lot of soul searching and explanation.
आशुतोष जी, मेरा लास्ट क्वेश्चन आपसे, क्योंकि मेरा जो जूम मीटिंग है वो लास्ट के 10 मिनट बता रहा है. एंड फॉर मी इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू आस्क यू दैट्स अबाउट द चैप्टर 10, which for me forms the backbone of this book. And उस जो आपने वो चैप्टर 10 लिखा है, कहीं पे मीडिया में कोई बात नहीं है, उस पे कुछ नहीं है, which is about the internal rift between BJP, RSS and BJP, especially the BJP. And you write in the book, in that chapter of chapter 10 in this book, about Yogi and Amit Shah's rift. थोड़ा सा इस पे रोशनी डाले कि क्या चीज है ये और कितना खतरा है इससे बीजेपी के लिए.
ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात है क्योंकि जैसा कि हम देखते हैं कि चाहे कम्युनिस्ट आइडियोलॉजी हो या कांग्रेस पार्टी हो, तो अपने अपने इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप्स होते हैं और वो इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप एक दूसरे से टकराते भी हैं और एक दूसरे के बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट भी पैदा करते हैं. इट्स नथिंग न्यू. Obviously, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not going to be there for eternity. Everybody knows he's already almost 75 years old. And he has been the Prime Minister for 3 terms. So there are many leaders within the BJP who are trying to position themselves in a post-Modi scenario. And one of the top contender for the post-Modi scenario, for the top post in the country and in the BJP is Amit Shah, because he's ideally a number 2 and the most powerful person after Modi in the BJP right now and in the country. So if he has ambitions to take Modi's position as a successor is basically human. But then there is Yogi Adityanath also there. He also thinks that he has been a chief minister for 2 terms, and he comes from Gorakhput. So he is a Sakshat Hindu. You know what I'm saying? For Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, they have to prove that they are Hindutva icon. But by simply being a Gorakhput Pithadishwar and wearing those clothes, typical clothes,
Saffron clothes.
He doesn't have to prove himself that he's a Hindu or not. So his credentials as a Hindutva leader, and over a period of time, just because of the way he dealt with the minority issues in the UP, today I can say this with a lot of confidence that he is the second most powerful person, second most popular person in the country within the BJP itself, after Narendra Modi.
Which is threatening the other leaders in the party.
Exactly.
Keshav Maurya being one. His deputy chief.
But see, Keshav Maurya is one of them, but Yogi Adityanath's popularity is a direct threat to Amit Shah's future. Because Amit Shah is positioning himself for that. Yogi Adityanath has also realized that if Narendra Modi can be the Prime Minister after being as a Chief Minister for 2 terms and the 3rd term winning, then why not me? He comes from Gujarat, Modi comes from Gujarat, I come from UP. And the UP is the biggest state, which sends 80 Lok Sabha seats. And today he has a popularity which is unmatched except Narendra Modi. Amit Shah is a kind of the party bureaucrat. His image is not like a Hindutva icon. He is not as popular as Yogi and Modi is. So obviously Amit Shah is feeling threatened. And a situation like this always creates a kind of insecurities among the leaders. So Yogi Adityanath today view Amit Shah that Amit Shah is trying to weaken him or would like to see him defeated in the assembly elections. And Yogi Adityanath must be thinking and believing that Amit Shah is trying everything so that Yogi should not remain as the chief minister. And so this is an ideal situation.
And how is Prime Minister Narendra Modi playing between the 2 players, between the 2 policies?
I think what the information I have and what is my understanding about thing is that there is a close proximity between Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. There is no doubt about it. They are inseparables. And if all goes well, then Mr. Narendra Modi would like Amit Shah to succeed him. Because he knows that if Amit Shah succeeds him, then he will be in a position to take forward the Modi legacy. But if somebody else becomes the Prime Minister, I become the top leader of the BJP, then there is a possibility that he might not take forward the Modi legacy at all. And secondly, see, Narendra Modi by nature is a person who is very self-centric and is a very centralizing figure. He doesn't want any other leader to be in a position to challenge him or to defy him. Yogi Adityanath, for some reason, from the day he became the chief minister, he is not only seen to be defying Narendra Modi, but he is also trying to match Narendra Modi with popularity. So Narendra Modi as a person would not like to see Yogi Adityanath and he would always like to believe that if instead of Yogi Adityanath, somebody else is there who's more pliable, who's listening to Narendra Modi, who's not very popular. So that will be better.
Ashutosh, I'm afraid that I would have to end this interview here because of the shortage of time. Let me hold your book once again for the readers so they buy it, read it, and understand what 2024 elections were all about. Pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Daanish, for inviting me for this wonderful discussion on my book. And I want to tell my viewers that this book is not simply a chronicling of events. This
Exactly.
book tries to
Exactly.
explain that what was the nature of election in 2024 and the events which happened. What was the underlying current which led to BJP losing in Ayodhya, Narendra Modi losing their parliamentary seats in Lok Sabha and other things. So it's not a chronicling. If you want to really understand Hindutva, if you really want to understand the Modi politics, if you really want to understand RSS and Hindutva, then I think this will, in my opinion, will help you understand that.
And I hope they buy and read it. Pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daanish. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please subscribe to our channel Reportage and press the bell icon to remain updated.